What's good, Rangers? It's your boy Rain, and today we're going to be watching, reacting, and reviewing the 2003 film Underworld. I saw this film when I was a kid along with the rest of the series, and I remember having a love-dislike relationship with this movie. On one hand, I'm always a big fan of the vampire, werewolf, hybrid human dynamic that some shows and movies have, but on the other hand, I feel like I was a little too young to really appreciate everything that this movie entailed. So that's why we're going to be watching it today. I've been dying to watch this movie, but I held myself back because I wanted to give you guys my first time in a long time reaction. But before we begin, if you guys love movies as much as I do, you get energized watching people react to something, or you just want to show your support, I highly recommend you guys check out my channel. I have over 400 movies in mind that I plan on reacting to, so you don't want to miss out. Also, if you enjoy my reactions and you want to see the full-length reaction, I highly recommend you guys check out my Patreon. I'm going to link it down below. More to discuss at the end, but for now, let's just lay back, kick our feet up, maybe grab some popcorn, and let's jump right into it.
The war had all but ground to a halt in the blink of an eye. The lichen horde scattered to the wind in a single evening of this. Nearly 6 centuries had passed since that night. Though
I feel like her, I like the accent, or I don't know if you would call this an accent, but it gives it really historic vibes. That whole entire, I feel like it just makes everything more eerie. Sounds pretty dope. And especially with that name Lucian, that's type of hard, I ain't gonna lie.
Older, more powerful lichens. The weapons had evolved, but our orders remained the same.
So lichens, the ones that get older, they're no longer bounded by the moon, I guess. They can change whenever they want, so that's pretty dope.
A most successful campaign. For those like me, a death deal.
I've always wanted to jump from heights like that and be able to survive. Was this movie ever popular? I feel like not enough people ever talked about it. And I don't know why, because I remember it was pretty solid. At least, at the very least, the idea behind it was pretty awesome. I remember that big black guy. Pretty sure he's a werewolf, right? A lichen, they call it. And I remember that other guy. Shoot, what were the hybrids called again? I thought they were lichens, but that's the werewolves. She caught his eye. They moving with a purpose. They're not even wasting no time. The vampires are moving pretty slow though. You see the werewolves going crazy. They just pacing themselves, walking real slow. This is werewolf senses tingling or something. I'm gonna start calling them lichens. Is this where she goes John Wick? This was the John Wick before John Wick. And I could be wrong because I don't know which one came out first, but I remember she was badass. Oh yeah, she getting it popping. I never understood why people brought handguns to a machine gun fight. You see a SWAT of detectives and a SWAT of cops with AK-47s, and then that one detective with a regular ass pistol swearing and he takes the lead too. Come on, bro. Let's be real. They could be more accurate, I'm sure, but I find it interesting how the train didn't move either. Would you, if you're the train conductor, would you move the train, or would you stay your ass there? I don't know. I don't know which one's safer for people. She got magazines. That's one way to get out. It's type hard, I ain't gonna lie. Now they're gonna actually fight now. Did you run out of ammo too? Because now you can just shoot them in the back. Oh, there we go. Now we're getting it popping. Werewolves do be looking scarier. But I don't know, I'm always biased towards vampires. I think they're cooler. And I think that might just be because you can have your powers and stuff without looking any different than a regular person outside of your fangs. Whereas in a werewolf has to change their whole body. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys prefer werewolves, vampires? Are you team werewolves, vampires? So now the train goes, huh? Probably a different one. I'm like so hyped on watching this again, honestly. Like I'm just like, I just know I'm like so much more intelligent now and older that this is just gonna hit so much better. Oh, is it like burning him because of the silver? She just put double tap to shame. I will say the CGI or like these graphics are type ass. Granted, it's a 2003 film. Not expecting more, but I'm trying to imagine like this film being remade now. Probably crazy. It's also interesting too how they chose to perceive or like display werewolves. Then you think of like Twilight and how they decided to show how werewolves look. Totally different. In fact, these look actually scary, whereas in Twilight, it looks like an actual werewolf that looks like you want to pet it. Is this a separate werewolf? Like a werewolf rank or something? I keep calling them werewolves, sorry guys, lichens. I gotta keep it with the movie. I like how they showed like the shift, like that was kind of clean.
You're acting like a pack of
usually like these movies I feel like would like purposely not show it because they don't want to show like how difficult it is to actually shift, but that was pretty clean.
To defeat the vampires on their own ground if you expect to survive. Pierce! Taylor!
Wait, he's a lichen too? If those are all lichens, why were they like harming them? Is she gonna report like all the advancements in their technology, the vampire killing bullets?
The awakening is on a few days off, and this house is in a state.
They opened fire on us in full view of the.
I feel like the way that this film looks, at least on my end, I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to tell, but it seems like it was naturally in a different language, and then they just had like voice actors speak over it in English, because it seems like there seems to be a little delay in like what they're saying and their lips moving and stuff.
Telling you, there could be dozens of lichens down.
There's not been a den of that magnitude for centuries.
But I'd rather have you prove me wrong by checking it out.
So I wonder why exactly there seems to be way more vampires than there are lichens. And it seems like, to begin with, it seems like they're like intimidated, like, oh, well, at least she seems to be intimidated, like, hey, like their numbers are growing. And I wonder if that's just because of what that means in itself, like, oh, there's gonna be more of them soon, or if that means like one lichen is equivalent to like 3 vampires kind of thing. Like, I wonder if she's scared because they're stronger, they're just naturally more stronger, or just because of the potential numbers that they can accumulate. Or also, I feel like I don't understand why, if she's telling you guys that there's seems to be more of them, like why just throw her off so easy? Like, I don't know. I feel like that'll be something to investigate. I wouldn't like throw her off so easily. And I also feel like they're mentioning like the numbers weren't as big since Lucian. This is supposed to be the first movie in the series, and so I'm wondering if they're gonna eventually talk about Lucian and why like why their numbers fell off so drastically and like how big of a boss he really was. Because, or at least I hope they do, because I'm lost right now, and I'm assuming they're going to. So yeah, but we'll see.
Very well. Have your men tighten things up.
Team myself.
Absolutely not. Soren will handle it.
Oh, so they're getting a search team.
I'd never dream of treating.
She's dressed and ready for the arrival of.
What a kiss ass, and he still neglects her. Imagine kissing ass like that and you still don't get what you want. I just feel stupid at that point. I feel like if it's looking as secure as it's supposed to be, she shouldn't have left that door open. I don't know though. That's just me. I feel like I remember those. Like, I think if you pour like, I think there's like old vampires down there, and if you like pour blood, then they like come back to life and they're like strong as hell. Because I think the stronger you are as a vampire, the older you are as a vampire, the stronger you get.
You should definitely wear this one. It's perfect.
I hope she's gonna wear something under there. Hold on. Let's see through as hell. Might as well be naked. Is she just realizing that they were following them? That they were following him?
They were after you.
Well, I thought you were after him too. So why were you there? Were you just camping out to see lichens and kill them?
Put on something elegant and be quick about it.
Is that strange for vampires to have dogs? Are they gonna give any context anytime soon? Like, what the hell's going on?
Negative.
I just realized he's from Twilight, right? I don't know why I'm so late with that. From the Volturi.
By the way, you said you did a terrific job tonight with the surgery.
Take it easy.
So is he like a doctor of some sort? A surgeon? Her eyes just gonna burst open? Oh, I guess not. I think that was the girl he saved from getting shot on the railroad tracks. Damn, they really in the sewers.
We lost him.
You lost him.
That voice is crazy.
80 rounds. High content. Preventing him from making the change.
I think this is the scene where he pushes out the shurikens with his muscles. Well, maybe he wasn't taking them out with his muscles. I don't know why that's a memory that I thought I had.
Our noble housing, but we are equally committed. Ilya arrives to awaken Marcus 2 days' time as a single coven. We want to thank.
So they're gonna awaken someone named Marcus? I feel like I remember Marcus, but I don't remember, like, I remember the name, but I don't remember the... I remember Victor is her dad. Michael Corvin. Oh, like I did that transition. That was clean. I'll tell you, for a 2003 movie, this movie got some pretty dope stuff that I haven't seen replicated since.
Other than that, I really don't know what to tell you. Interns pretty much work around the clock. You know where we can find him? You can try him at home. He's not in some kind of trouble.
So he's an intern. Are those the Lycans? Oh, I think so, yeah. Those aren't real cops, those are Lycans. Damn, I'm excited to see more of the story. Like, I feel kind of insecure to the fact of, like, since I'm speaking on this stuff now, like, as a YouTuber, that I feel like I'm missing key details, but I don't think I am. Like, I think they're just not speaking on the context yet. That's fine, I'm patient. She left his door open? What the hell? Y'all going inside if y'all see that door open? I'm pausing right there, calling the cops, doing something.
Why are they up?
Oh, damn, she's strong like that? Nah, that just looks terrible. So, to think something so trivial as the elevator can hold back a vampire is pretty funny. Alright, this is the CGI they could have worked on. Oh, this was dope. I remember this. Now that she's doing it. Interesting though, because she could have probably killed that last one with all those bullets she just used to do that. Just for him to end up chasing her anyways, right? Because now she got no bullets and he gonna chase her? Like, what the hell? But they needed his blood apparently. Is he like a descendant from someone like... Oh, this might be what I'm thinking about. His muscles pop out with the bullets. I was thinking about the other guy. This might be... Oh, he's a vampire? He's like a traitor? Bro, I'm so confused. Because his eyes turned blue, so I don't think he's a vampire, but he got the fangs. And he's not turned into a lichen right now. But this is definitely the scene. He was pushing out the bullets with his muscles. I was thinking about the other guy pushing out the shurikens with his muscles. Yeah, I think he's a vampire. Even me saying I think he's a vampire, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like he might be a werewolf. Lycan. There's no way he's a Lycan, right? Like, why is he still in human form if he's a Lycan? Does he jump over it? Oh, God. Okay. Just take the hit. I thought he was going to do something cool, like backflip over it. Oh, I guess that was pretty cool, the landing.
Stop the car!
Back off!
I feel like this is Edward and Bella just switched places.
You've lost a lot of blood.
But isn't there a scene too where Bella's like, stop the car, stop the car? I'm gonna try to put that in here if I can. He's like, shorty stubborn. And just like that, just because she doesn't want to listen to the king, they both could die. Well, guys, there's Underworld. Hope you guys liked and enjoyed it. So I think she could have drowned, right? It's interesting to think that a vampire could die from drowning. Like, you need special bullets to kill them, but yet they could just die from drowning. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking this guy is like a Lycan who hasn't unlocked his abilities yet for whatever reason. And then that other guy, Michael, he's a vampire. And so he bit him to try to turn him to a hybrid.
Rays didn't bring back this.
And so if so, that's interesting to see that the Lycans are following a vampire.
Just 2 days till full moon. Soon he will be a Lycan. Soon he will come looking for us.
Oh, I'm bugging. You guys probably screaming at me this whole time. I think when they mentioned how the more advanced Lycans don't need to change, like shift, I thought they were talking about like needing a full moon to do it, like just doing it on command. I think he's a Lycan, but he doesn't need to change into that final, like into that form, because he could skip that step. I think that's what they were talking about at the beginning. Gotcha. Okay, now this is making more sense. So disregard everything I said, and I'm sorry you guys got to go through it. And then even still, how come those bullets didn't affect him then? See, now I'm confused. Okay, whatever. We're going to drop it and hope that they explain it. My theory is just that he's just a boss and those same rules for other Lycans don't apply to him. It'd be funny if he just wakes up as a Lycan and bites her face off. Is she going to see the bite and think it's a werewolf bite or a Lycan bite? I just let him get away. Okay. Maybe she's not gonna let him get away. Ooh, bro just fell on his back?
Leave us!
So a house full of vampires and he gets away?
I sure hope you never get pissed off with me. Check this out.
God damn. It's a one-shot head coming off kind of gun right there.
Tell me, Khan, do you believe Lucian died the way they say he did? Nothing but an ancient story.
The victor believed him, and that's all that matters.
Nowhere.
Okay, so apparently that guy, damn, they just said his name and I forgot it again. When I concentrate too hard, I forget names. So that guy, Craven. So Craven said he killed Lucian, and they said Lucian in the beginning was like the king of the Lycans. And so Victor, me cheating a little bit, knowing who Victor is Selene's dad, if I'm not mistaken. Victor was the top vampire. And so if Craven's saying he killed Lucian, I guess Victor said to Craven before Victor died, you could be the head of the vampires. Right now they saying, I know Craven is power hungry, but I don't think he'd lie about something like that, especially if Victor believed him. So now this is getting interesting. So Selene's not really messing with Craven, and she doesn't believe his story that he killed Lucian, which was the head Lycan. Okay. Am I bugging, or is that the Lycan?
You were told to set up shop and lay low.
Doesn't concern you. Besides.
So he on some shady-ish. Something in my blood was telling me he was shady, and I just didn't remember why.
Just keep your men at bay, Lucian. Don't force me to regret.
Oh, he's Lucian. I thought they said his name was Michael, too.
I've bled for you once already. Nothing.
So he's Lucian. I thought they were calling him Michael, and I knew the human's name was Michael, so I thought there was two Michaels, and I was like, that's a bad idea, naming both of them Michael. Maybe I was just dumb this whole time. Wait, I'm confused, because she saw Lucian. She saw him in the elevator, and she shot him, so she knows his story is false, right? Like, so why is she asking that guy about, oh, what the hell's going on? I feel like I'm mistaken I misheard something, and this is just becoming a terrible analysis on my behalf. Does she not know what Lucien looks like? Oh, she probably doesn't, because from what she was saying, it seemed like it was like an old story. So before she was born, or when she was like a kid, so she doesn't know who Lucien is. Maybe that's what that is. Okay, that'll be fire if that's so. Because then if she sees a picture of Lucien and then him, it's like, wait, these are the same people. I saw this guy. He's still alive. Boom, Craven gets exposed.
Cut from Lucian's very arm.
Oh, this is getting fire. I'm not gonna lie. She's on to something. I think this is what I was talking about. She's gonna investigate and figure out that he's still alive.
I've been looking for you everywhere. Not now. He's been bitten.
Okay, this is fire. Okay. I was going in a freaking rabbit hole.
But what about the Covenant? You know it's forbidden.
Covenant. I love that, like that word. I wonder what it means. There's a movie called The Covenant I'm planning on reacting to. I've seen it already, but I like it. I think it's another slept on movie, but
all I know is it feels like it's splitting in half.
Full-grown man bit you. Jesus.
I'm curious on what the Covenant is.
This wasn't a dog.
I said it was a man.
It's like a rule that you can't turn lichens to vampires or something. Because she obviously didn't have a problem with her changing him as a human into a vampire.
I'm gonna help you get this all sorted out. All right? I'll be right. I'm gonna be back in a minute. That's a promise.
He coming back with the cops, and the cops are lichens. Watch. Did she like bite her hand so it bleeds, and then she drops the blood in there to awaken him? Vampires be having some dope ass stuff, yo. I wonder if like people who make films and like scripts are biased towards vampires, because they always get the cool stuff. That's disgusting. That is disgusting. Imagine. Jeez. So this is an awakening, they call it, huh? If it's this simple to bring him back, why did they not do it before? Do they like have like a wish to like remain dead after a certain amount of years or something?
Hit us during the awakening ceremony. Even more disturbing is that if I'm correct, it would mean that Craven is in league with him.
Not as hard. So it seems like when she shared the blood, he got her memories or whatever, that message she was trying to send him. And well, I guess the memories and the message she was trying to send him. And she was saying that forgive me for bringing you back earlier than expected. So for one, I'm curious on when he was expected to come back. Two, and why he needed a time frame to come back. Two, she's saying, hey, like, I'm bringing you back because son ain't right. It's fishy out here. I think Lucien's still alive. And if Lucien's still alive, that means Craven's he's a op. So this is fire. And so I bet like Craven's gonna pull up with Victor alive. Like, oh, it's good, guys. And see Victor like, uh-oh, type of thing. That's gonna be hard. This is hard. I definitely think I was too young to watch this movie and really grasp it, because I do remember some parts of it, probably more than other movies that we're gonna see. Maybe we'll see. But the message and like the language that they use, I definitely wasn't capturing all this. And he comes back. Okay, this is fire, bro.
What's so pressing?
Take a look.
I wonder what deal Craven made with Lucien for Lucien to be okay with the lichens numbers dwindling for a point of time. Like, I'm sure he was going to want his lick back, so that means Craven's going to need to be okay with a bunch of vampires dying, no?
What's going on? You go to him, you'll never be welcome in this house again.
Awake, we'll see what he has to say about that.
Oh, me. She dropped a bomb on him. Victor's her dad, right? Because she didn't really say the words dad or nothing. Now she got, ooh, is that a Maserati? I was saying, now she got the beastie car. I guess it's because the last one crashed, right?
You could never come here again. They'll kill you. Do you understand?
I wonder if they're going to try to flip it on her now. Does it usually take this long to turn? I wonder how long it takes for lichens to turn and how long it takes for vampires to turn. I think it said he's going to turn when the next full moon, which is in 2 days. But I feel like vampires have to turn way faster than that, right?
leave us.
Then once you get brought back, when do you get comfortable going back to death?
Between vampires and lycan, werewolves.
So they know of the term werewolves and they call them lycans. Interesting. I wonder why that is. Probably just to make things interesting, to get more people in the seats for watching this movie.
Memories. Chaotic.
Please, my lord, let me summon assistance.
So he's gaining all those memories?
But he still slumbers, my lord. To awaken Marcus, you've been awakened a full century ahead of me.
Bitch has betrayed me.
Now he knows everything.
So what does this mean? So he expected Marcus to be up and alive already. So he said summon Marcus, and then he's saying, oh, Marcus is not alive yet. He's supposed to be alive tomorrow. You were awakened a whole century ahead of schedule. So like, I'm really curious on like what this all means, of like why there's a schedule to begin with, and how does him being awakened ahead of schedule ruin any plans that they might have had. Like, is he only limited to like X amount of years, and he tries to scatter those years, hence him like going away for a little bit? And so him being awakened earlier is just like limiting how long he could stay on the earth in terms of time frame versus duration. No, I'm curious. Who the hell is this Marcus guy? Sounds really important. That's dope how you can share memories.
Version 20 minutes. It's time I filled you in on a few things.
Of course she could be trusted. She's been dying to hear those words, bro. I wonder if he's gonna tell her the whole entire him being a traitor thing, or he's just gonna spill some other beans. It's interesting too, because she awakened Victor ahead of schedule, and she's purposely like not at his side right now. Like, she's handling her other business. Like, if I'm Victor, I'm like, bro, what are you making me wait for? You better bring your ass over here. Like, imagine telling your higher up to wait for you. That's basically what she's doing right now.
Lycans are allergic to silver.
What do you do with them afterwards?
We put the bullets back in.
That's hard. And so the new bullets that they have, even if you take out the bullets, it's still gonna die, because the silver that they melted was a silver nitrate. It's gonna leak into the bloodstream.
The war had spilled into our house. The oldest and strongest of us. He gave me the strength to avenge my family. Since then, I've never looked back.
Okay. So Lycan was on their family house, barn situation, killed her whole family. Victor pulled up, ran the Lycans out of town, made her a vampire.
To keep a closer eye on our cousin.
Damn, this movie's fire, I ain't gonna lie. I thought this might be a movie I had to rewatch after making this video to really catch anything I missed, just because of how complex it seems to be.
Now I need you to keep what I'm about to tell you under the strict...
What in the world? Can you imagine that? You go to someone and say, I gotta tell you something, and you gotta keep it a secret, and they say it could wait and take off their clothes? Like, what the? I wonder if he wants to do that, or he feels obligated to do that because he needs to vent to her. But she's been wanting it for a minute.
Victor will know what to do. You will if you want to live.
No, I want to go with you.
What is going on with these major shifts? Like, what? I can see the tension on him. Like, he was looking at her like, but she wasn't. Like, I knew they eventually got together because I've seen the movie before. But she looked like she was ready to leave, and damn, poker face game is strong.
It's unavoidable. Can't leave you free to roam around. I'm sorry. But the silver should prevent the transformation.
She did catch feelings for him quick, I guess. Meanwhile, Victor's waiting. Is he even gonna have time to tell that girl like everything he wants to tell? The Lycans know where they at? Is that supposed to be a thing? I feel like their addresses should be confidential, no? Craven, like, give them the address? He probably told him, like, yo, Victor got wakened early. I need y'all to kill some of my peeps.
She's here.
He didn't tell her nothing. The whole time they was getting frisky.
Which is precisely why the awakening is...
But I did see Lucian. I shot him.
Not in 14th century. Two asleep. That's the way of it.
The Coven is in danger and Michael is the...
Ah, yes. The Lycan.
Please.
This is hard. Like, this is so interesting. Hold on, let me expand on this. Pause. So they were saying, again, they didn't explain why necessarily, but they were saying how out of the elders, only elders should be bringing people back because they have the full understanding of what it means to bring someone back. Like, you need full proof in order to do stuff like that if it's like ahead of schedule kind of thing. Like, she brought him back prematurely in his opinion because she doesn't have all the facts. She has nothing concrete for him. She just shared memories, and those memories to him aren't good enough. And so what he was saying is that how this is supposed to work is one elder is supposed to be awake, aka alive, and the other two are supposed to be asleep. And he said that routine, or whatever you want to call it, ritual, has been around for like 14 centuries, I think he said, and it's never been like broken. And so like she obviously just broke it. But it's interesting. So like, do they only have like 3 elders at a time? And he said something about like the purpose of that is to like expand like their timeline, I guess, and like their when like how long they could like be. I don't know. That part's still a little unclear. But I think it has something to do with what I was saying before of like, and I could be wrong, but for example, let's say each vampire has like 100-year lifespan. Instead of living all 100 at once, you kind of like scatter at like 25. You rest for like 50, live another 25 kind of thing. And that might be the purpose of like sharing the memories too. So that way, even though they're asleep for 25 years, let's just say, by you sharing your memories and you bring them back, it's like they never really left. So that's probably why they become like so strong and wise and stuff. I'm liking it. I'm liking it.
If there is any.
How could you trust him over me?
Yo, that makes no sense.
As being tainted by an animal. I love you.
So Victor is siding with the potential traitor versus the girl who brings him back, letting him know there's a traitor because she was seeing a human who was gonna turn into a lichen for like 2 seconds.
Tell me, did you have the nerve to cut the skin from his arm?
Mark my words. Soon you'll be seeing things my way.
Yeah, if I'm Craven, I'm like, yo, she needs to die because she knows too much.
Queen run off that lichen again.
Wait, were those the guys from the truck? So she's on it now. Why do that? Like, you knew the purpose of you doing, like, being locked up was. Now you dropped it. You idiot. I wonder if the plan of switching who's picking who up is because of him being a traitor, or like having Lycans attack whoever's gonna pick him up type of thing. So I'm confused. If Craven is letting like Amelia and them die, and Amelia was gonna like basically sentence his girl to Selene to death, like why would he not want that? Because obviously Selene knew too much. And why would he want to keep the people in that room alive by switching who picks Amelia up? And why are these vampires putting up no fight? Maybe he didn't want Amelia to talk to Selene and get all that information Selene had. I don't know. But it seemed like it was pretty clear cut that Selene was going to lose the case. I hope they somewhere in here explain exactly what the covenant is, because I mentioned like the covenant with him like having the time slots of people being brought back to life, but his background seems really interesting. All them flashbacks. I think that could be the key as to why the Lycans were after him. Like they mentioned, his genetics are particularly interesting to them, but I feel like his genetics and those memories tell a big story. Damn, so her whole spot is ruined now. Those new and improved bullets. Well, she really blasted them without even opening the door. Like 90% of them. She said jump, not fall. What's he gonna turn now that he got the direct moonlight? That's the doctor, right? The scientist? I'm glad that he's dead. Hopefully he's dead, I mean. A Benz police car? That's kind of dope. Why are you just standing there? Go! I don't think any one of those vampires took one lichen with them.
Maybe we should pull over and dose them.
The lichens kind of look like gargoyles or like horses. Oh, the full moon. I wonder who created the whole folklore on vampires and werewolves. It's like all these movies, for the most part, shows keep like the same fundamentals. When the hell does he turn into a hybrid? I'm confused. Man's a full-on lichen. Or maybe that's what they're trying to bring him back for, to turn him. I don't know what they're doing, actually. Yeah, they sedated him pretty easily. I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of disappointing.
Victor wants to speak with you.
As someone who's like a little more like biased towards vampires, it kind of upsets me seeing that he turned lichen before vampire. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted at least to happen at the same time, but the fact that he turned lichen first is kind of like.
To tell them exactly what you do.
Why would he rat on his own kind, knowing he's gonna die regardless?
Of Alexander Corvinus, power in the early seasons of the 5th century, to watch a plague ravage. He alone. This body was able to.
So that's the context of them looking for Michael.
We tried to combine the bloodlines, a species destined to destroy each other. That is, until we found.
I wonder why the lichens want to combine them. Like, do they think that do they not feel threatened by the idea that someone could be a vampire and werewolf? Like, to me, like, I feel like, first of all, it sounds dope, but if I'm in the shoes of them, I feel like creating a third race isn't a solution to your problem. I feel like it's creating another problem. In fact, you're not only dealing with already another competitor, which are the vampires, who obviously bodied you guys in numbers, but you're creating someone superior to even them. So now you're third on the totem pole. You're not even second. Like, I don't know. That's pretty strange.
Allows for a perfect union.
So it seems like if I'm understanding them correctly, I will say problem number one with this movie seems like they have like a lot of like noise in the background of like a little bit of music or like special effects, and that's making it hard to really hear everything. But it seems like there was like one main guy, I guess, named Corvus, and then he had like 3 children, I guess, and then one was a vampire, one was a human, and one was a lichen. And so they were looking for Michael because Michael, I guess, is the descendant of that human, so he could have the trait of being both at the same time.
I need you to do something for me.
Then Craven really screwed everything up, huh? He killing Amelia and the gang. He ruined a lot, huh?
Will lie in ruins.
All those empty bullets or empty. What if you gave him a gun with no clips?
And ejected Michael's blood. Abomination.
Okay, so Amelia was the elder that was supposed to be alive. Remember when I was saying that there's 3 of them, for example. Marcus and Victor are the ones that are asleep, and then Amelia is the one that's awakened. So Amelia was the elder, and if you guys remember, or if I was able to include it in the YouTube video, they extracted her blood. And so it seems like Lucian's trying to combine Michael's blood and Amelia's blood to make a lichen, which would be half human, half lichen, half vampire, but I guess the human component makes it even stronger than the 2 itself. Yeah, I might have to rewatch this movie. Like, I don't know if I should like answer those questions at the end, like, during the review phase, before or after I rewatch the movie.
They bled her dry.
It began.
That's how strong he is? Bro hit him with a punch and his face fell off.
The moment you kill the descendant of Michael.
So I guess a good thing Victor got brought back early, because now there's one elder awake, which is always supposed to happen. But the bad part is, I guess, even if you look at that logic, Marcus was supposed to come back before Victor. Oh wait, is that blood gonna leak into Marcus's tomb. Oh, I thought they were gonna show like the blood leaking into Marcus's tomb from the guy's face being broken. That would've been crazy. Granted, it wouldn't have been like the same, like taking up the tomb and then putting the blood in that little hole and then leaks in the mouth. So that would've been kind of like contradictory, but that still would've been cool. They need to explain this whole flashback thing. This looks really interesting. I feel like that's something to do with Lucien, like taking Victor's girl or something, or daughter. Like either taking his girl or like having his daughter fall in love with him. I think I might be right. I think Lucien was the werewolf, Lycan, and then Victor's daughter is obviously a vampire, and so they were probably getting busy. Victor found out and sentenced his daughter his daughter to death with sunlight.
Sonia, that's what started the war. I saw it happen as if I...
So it's the vampire's fault.
We were slaves once, the daylight guardians. I was born in servitude, yet I harbored them no ill will.
Interesting.
Our union, Victor feared a blending of the... feared it so much, his own daughter burnt alive.
What did I say? So, at one point in time, the Lycans were slaves to the vampires. And he said, at that point in time, we didn't really mind it much. Even so much that they didn't mind it to the point where he married Victor's daughter, low key. And Victor was so scared of like creating hybrids that he killed his own daughter. So imagine you kill your own daughter just for there to be hybrids anyways. And I wonder if that's why Lucien is doing what he's doing, to as a kind of like a slap in the face. Like, yeah, you did all this for no reason because now I'm going to create a hybrid anyways, type of thing. But so far, it seems like the vampires are the a-holes in all this, which is unfortunate because I like vampires a little more than werewolves. Damn, that's unfortunate.
It's Victor. Yes.
Is there another way out?
Has it never occurred to you that you might actually...
So the goal was to create a hybrid before Victor got brought back because Victor's too powerful. Granted, I think once you have the hybrid, you're good because the hybrid's supposed to be stronger than Victor from what I'm understanding. But I think the idea was to maybe even have a few hybrids before Victor got brought back.
Think about leaving.
There's gonna be nothing in there. Oh. Shorty gave him a real loaded gun with the advanced bullets?
Bet you weren't expecting that.
I feel like it's too late for him to save face though, no? Jeez, I'm telling you, the main character is always the one with the pistols. Everybody else be having full-on assault rifles, submachine guns. This man pulling up on like 10 vampires. Okay, maybe it was like 6, but... I think he might have wanted just one, because it might be the traitor vampire that... switch sides again. Meanwhile, the other vampires just left. That's some ish. No boys left behind, word. I find it very cool how they're showing the transformation. They're not hiding from it. Come on, really? At least make that more entertaining. Now it's zero diff.
Selene.
Zero difficulty at all. And I also thought that Selene turned Michael into the hybrid. But I guess I remember that this was all a concoction of different blood types. Now how is he still alive? Granted, I'm the one that said that was too easy for him to die, but what's the physics? What's the chemistry looking like? Come on. Is he like that powerful or old to the point where silver nitrate in your bloodstream does nothing? I'm not gonna say it does nothing because obviously it affected him, but imagine if the other Lycan that was chasing that guy, the black Lycan, imagine he did that and died for no reason because Lucien came back. That is some intimidating stuff, not gonna lie. But her suit is just so sleek. Like, that's hard. Full on latex going crazy. I need to see her play basketball with these hops. It's interesting because I feel like the Lycans die pretty easily when it comes to like when they're running at Selene. They're all like always against like the wall of some sort, so she just has to aim, shoot them, and they're dead because they're easy to like, they're big enough to like just shoot at. But when they're close enough, I feel like it's the opposite. Whereas in like the vampires just have no skill level outside of Selene. Like I would expect like the vampires to be able to have like strong close what is it called, close quarters combat. Oh crap. Damn, I liked him too, even though he had like 2 seconds of screen time. He seemed like a fair guy. Non-biased. Surprised he didn't shoot Victor just now. A vampire being clumsy, I don't know. This dude is still tied up? When is that concoction gonna hit? Or was there like a missing piece? No way the Lycan's gonna try to kill him, right? I wonder if her biting him is gonna speed up the process.
I have to get you out of here. Be satisfied until every Lycan's dead.
Now that's how you shoot off chains.
They kill you too just for helping me.
Kiss, 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 kiss. My boy. She caught feelings extremely quick. He's like, I may be able to use her. Alright, bro, grab a little cheek or something. Don't be vanilla.
I know what started the war.
Maybe Lucien is gonna be a reasonable guy because he sees what he went through. Ally up with Selene. Oh, they're gonna see him go to work. They had to show how strong he was. One thing I low-key don't like though, it's not even a big deal, is that it seems like the Lycans and the vampires have blue eyes. Like when they turn, it seems like they have blue eyes. They should have like 2 different colors, I feel like. They give like the Lycans blue, vampires maybe red, and then the hybrids like a yellow. And why is Craven alive? Like you could cater to this dude right after you kill Craven. Can you not? Whoa. So did it not? I thought the blood he put in earlier was the vampire's blood. Did it not happen? Or was it just not strong enough? And wouldn't the silver taste weird to her? Like, I know she's not weak to it because she's not a Lycan, but like, if the silver's in her bloodstream, in his bloodstream. So did Victor think he was strong enough to that throw would easily like kill Michael or something? Like he just left him. Did he underestimate Michael or the transition?
Trail of me and of the coven. I did what was necessary to
Oh,
protect the species.
So she was pregnant. I thought he just banished the relationship. I want to learn more about this coven thing. I feel like it's so like intriguing. Like why are the rules so strict and like what exactly is the coven? What are the rules? What are the no's? What are the okays? They about to have 2 elders die in one night. Selene, if you don't get your ass up and watch this fight, you got pay-per-view right in front of your eyes. I'm seeing a lot of like damage being done, but no like blood. I feel like he should be stronger, no? Like I mean, like physically wise, like appearance wise. Is she killing her own kind? I feel like physically wise, he should look like a bodybuilder of some sort. I Just chop off it, to cut his head in half. I thought that was a later movie. What the hell was I watching? I feel like everything that just happened in this movie right now, I thought happened in like movie 3. So what the hell happens in the other movies? Yeah, his face splits in half, right? What the hell was filled with the other movies? Did this come back to life? That's nearly headless Nick. Nearly headless? Why is it nearly headless? Damn, this is jam-packed movie number 1. You got two of the 3 elders dying? Yeah, I think there's like 5 movies. So if all this happened in movie 1, what the hell happens in the other ones? Does Victor come back to life, and do they explain who the hell Marcus is? Is he like big body in the Lycans? They just by them looking at him, they're like, "Oh, you got it, chief," kind of thing, or is it like kind of like a mutual thing where like they're also looking at Selene, like, "All right, you just killed Victor, you got it." I'm curious. This story's kind of dope, and it's like what I think is also dope is how it's kind of like a remake of Lucien's relationship. But the part that's kind of interesting, or I guess like not as cool, or maybe even a little cooler in some respects, is the slight shift in Lucien was the Lycan. He married a vampire. She is a vampire who fell for a Lycan at first, but now he's a hybrid. Like that, I feel like that kind of like it's like cheating a little bit. It's not as like different. It's like heads dating tails versus heads dating head and tails. Like that similarity in itself is kind of like kind of ruins the the polarity.
Differences will be set aside. Allegiances will be made.
So if a werewolf, a Lycan's blood leaks, does Marcus get all that Lycan's memories? Because remember, they say when you awaken someone, they get your memories. So if a Lycan is leaking in his mouth, paws, is he gonna have the Lycan's memories? I'm curious. So this is Marcus. Wow, I really like this movie. I'm glad I got to watch it again. Oh damn. Yes, let's jump into the review. So before starting the review, I decided it made the most sense for me to go back and rewatch some of the key parts I felt like I was lacking in, because I didn't want to start the review and have some type of misunderstanding of the movie, and I knew there was blanks that needed to be filled in. And so when I went back and actually learned a lot, I learned that when Selene opened the book, like the history book that told of Craven's story of how he defeated Lucien or whatever, there was 3 symbols. There was an A, a V, and an M. And I reckon those 3 stand for the 3 elder vampire names, Amelia, Victor, and Marcus. And I know like when we saw the chamber, it had the V on the chamber for Victor and the M for Marcus. And Amelia was the one that was alive. So I was, oh, those must be the 3 elders. But also, what's his name? Lucien, he had a V on his arm. And so later in the movie, when he explained that the Lycans were once slaves to the vampires, I'm curious on like if there was an elder in charge at the time, being Victor, that was responsible for branding the Lycans with their initial. Because if so, that would make a lot more sense as to why he has a V identical to the V that stands for Victor, like the symbol of the V. So I found that pretty cool, and I definitely missed that. So I'm glad I went back to see that. And granted, it wasn't confirmed, but it was the exact same V. Like it wasn't a different kind of V, it was the exact same. So I was also curious on like why there were only 3 elders. Like I feel like that's too little. But then again, to the point where there's the Lycans, it seems like only Lucien is the Lycan elder. There weren't any others, so maybe 3 is a lot. I don't know, I just found it pretty strange how there was only 3, but maybe that's normal. And so even then, when they were telling the story, something that I was thinking that I didn't think about when they were telling the story of how there would be 2 resting and 1 awake, it makes sense of there being only 3 to begin with. Like I was curious on like if people get promoted to elder or whatever. I don't know how that stuff works. They didn't really explain that, But it's interesting because if there was 3 elders from the beginning and those 3 elders are still being used, then like, how the hell do you ever get promoted? Or like, how much time has to go by for you to be elder, and when do the elders die off and, you know, like somebody replaces them kind of thing. So I find that interesting still. Something else I got better clarification on, they were hunting Michael because Michael is supposed to be like a descendant of Corvius, I guess the human bloodline, and the human bloodline is supposed to have the plague infection in it that created like the whole vampire werewolf kind of thing. And so apparently there's the Corvius guy, I forgot his first name, and he had like 3 sons or whatever. One was a lycan, one was a vampire, one's a human. So I guess the human bloodline has that untainted trait, untainted plague, whereas in the vampire one has the vampire dominant trait, so they couldn't use that one. And so that's why they're after Michael. And apparently Marcus is also a descendant from the vampire side, I guess. And so I'm curious, like, does that not make him the strongest? Because they said Victor was the oldest and strongest. So how can you be a descendant of the Corvius, who was supposed to be the originator of all this stuff? How are you a direct descendant, but you're not the oldest or strongest? That confuses me. I don't get that. But also, like, this is information we learned from that captured lycan spilling all the tea. Like, in what world do you voluntarily give all this extra information? Like, if you're a lycan and you want the lycans to win the war, why are you giving away all this crucial knowledge to the competitor or the opposition? Like, they were going to kill him regardless. You knew you were going to die. So why give... Like, he literally voluntarily gave them this information. Like the lady, like Selene was like, okay, I'm going to kill you now. He was like, wait, but there's more to the story that only you will know. Bro, keep that to yourself. Let your boys, like, come on. I don't know. I found that pretty strange. And I think I might mention that later on as like a moment I didn't like. But something I also didn't really understand was I thought they were trying to make Michael into the hybrid. And so earlier in my reaction, I was saying like, oh, why are they making a third breed? Like, I feel like if the vampires are already on top right now, lycans are on the bottom. If you make a third breed that's supposed to be stronger than both of them, you're just putting yourself to the bottom as a lycan. So that confused me. But after rewatching, it seems like Lucian wanted to make himself the hybrid. He was using Michael's blood to turn himself into the hybrid. So he was just going to dispose of Mike probably after. So the goal wasn't for Michael to be the hybrid. It was for Lucian to be the hybrid. So that makes more sense now too. With that being said, I chose this movie because I knew I had unfinished business with it. I'm a big fan of vampires and werewolves. Twilight's one of my favorite movie franchises. I watched the originals and Vampire Diaries and even Legacies, which wasn't nearly as good as the other ones, but I love anything vampires, werewolves. And so I was like, damn, not only is this movie hitting on my like one of my favorite types of topics, or like folklore, but I know there was so much more detail to this movie that I didn't properly retain as a kid. And quite frankly, I'll always be honest with you guys with how much I remember or what movies I've seen. I would not betray your trust in that way, but like when I tell you guys, most of this movie flew over my head the first time when I was a kid watching it that I didn't even know about. Like, I remembered scenes, but like the actual detail and why things were happening and how the whole story comes together, not one part of that stuck with me. So I'm just watching the fighting scenes and remembering, oh, this person dies, oh, his head gets chopped in half, but the whole storyline itself, that went over my head. So watching it now, I'm like, holy cow, this movie is great. And so the purpose of me choosing the movie was I had a feeling there was something to this movie that I didn't properly grasp, and I'm really glad I got to see it. So my initial reaction is this movie's amazing. I am actually extremely thankful I got to see it, because this could have been one of those other movies that I was like, oh, I've seen it already, I'm not going to watch it again. But something was really pulling me to this movie, and I had no idea it was this good. So when I think of like what thoughts this movie creates for me, I think about like how, and I think I touched on this in the movie reaction too, like who came up with the folklore of what is a vampire, what is a werewolf, how they're created, whatever. and like who decided throughout the years to stick to it, because a lot of these fundamentals carry over from movies to movie to show to show, and it's pretty cool. Something else I think about is, I guess there's still a little confusion about this. If Lucien was a lichen, we did not see him turn into a lichen once. Like, he had the whole fangs pop out and his eyes turned really blue, but he didn't turn into that monster. And so is that testament to how strong he is as like an elder, where he can maybe harness the strength and abilities without transforming? Or is that like, did he not reach that final stage yet in this movie? Like of course he was strong, but could he have gone stronger if he fully transformed? And I say that to say, and I guess this could be a part that I might touch on a little bit later, of dislikes in this movie, is because like I felt like his drop off was crazy. Like, if he's supposed to be so superior and strong, the fact that he didn't transform, or again, this is with the assumption that transforming makes you even stronger. If it doesn't make you stronger, then ignore this whole part, 'cause that's dope as hell. They could maintain his human form. But if you're supposed to be so superior and like you don't really have any feats in this movie at all, like what the hell? So I was just curious. I'm gonna touch probably more about that later on for the dislikes, but I was just curious, like the whole thought sparing thing of like, wow, this dude really didn't transform once in this whole movie. Something else I'm thinking about is like, are there different factions and families of vampires? Because in that main house, which I'm just calling it the main house, we have Victor and Marcus buried in there, whatever you want to call it. But Amelia's out and about somewhere else. They have to call her to the town or the house and have her travel by train. I'm curious on like, why isn't the elder in that main spot? Or if that's not the main spot, why are Victor and Marcus buried there if it's not the main spot? You know? Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but like, you basically have two really important people buried somewhere, and the other third important person is at a totally different spot. Like, come on, like that's unclear to me. So that's something I'm thinking about when watching this movie. The feelings that this movie created for me, it was excitement, honestly. Like, I haven't seen a movie this good in quite some time, I feel like, especially since it was like a 2003 movie, and there were like some things in here and I was like, wow, this seems like really advanced for the time. Because I had a feeling this movie was good, but I think I was just too young, honestly, to really appreciate it, like I was saying before. And so like, to think that I gave it another shot and to realize like, wow, this movie is way better than I expected, like, that makes me happy. But it was really jam-packed with action. I thought it was pretty funny at some times, and yeah, I think positive feelings all around. So what ideas, characters, moments resonated with me? I would say in particular the idea that Victor really didn't want there to be a merging of the two types of monsters. He wanted them to be separate, so he killed his own daughter who was pregnant. Like, that's insane to me. Like, why do you strongly believe this? What is the reason for you to take such a precaution and take such action? Like, and I'm going to touch on this later too about the covenants thing, but like, he mentioned like the covenant disallowed it. And so the idea that there's now a new person, aka Mike, who is the hybrid so many years later, I find like it's pretty cool, because like, you can't just because something is different doesn't mean it's dangerous, you know? And also, like, just because something is different doesn't mean it's bad. Like, I wonder like how different the world would have been if they were more accepting to hybrids to begin with. And like, it seems like just from the very end, when Michael came about being a hybrid and the werewolves backed off when him and Selene were in that little cave or whatever, like, this could potentially end the war. And the fact that the war went on for so long, not strictly because, but to think the war went on for so long when it could have been halted by there being hybrids is pretty interesting. Then again, though, if there was hybrids, there probably would have been a lot more like conflict, I guess, with like power dynamics and stuff. But I don't know, just something I'm thinking about. As for my favorite moment, I'll say one of my favorite moments was when Lucien knocked the bullets out of his body with just his sheer strength. I thought that was pretty dope. And also I liked when they had the flashback with Lucien and Sonya, I think Victor's daughter's name was. Like I think that flashback was pretty cool. And another favorite moment that I had was pretty much anytime Selene had a gun. She was so savage with it. I thought it was pretty dope. I'll say least favorite moment, again, kind of not really explaining why Lucien didn't change to that final form. Again, something simple as saying like he's so strong he doesn't need to, or like that is his final form. Like after turning to a monster, turning back to your normal self and maintaining the strength and abilities is kind of like Frieza. You know, Frieza turns really big for like his 50% form and his 100% perfect form. He's regular Frieza. Like I think something like that would be dope. Just some clarification on that. So I didn't really like that. Also didn't like how Amelia is supposed to be a freaking elder and she died so easily. Like I don't think they took one liking with them to the grave. But yet you see Victor, when he gets stuff popping, he punches someone, they freaking half their face falls off. They die instantly. A Lycan dies instantly. Towards the tail end of the movie, a Lycan runs at him and he just choke slams the Lycan, like grabs him up by the throat and just kills him. Like if an elder's doing this stuff, and if an elder is supposed to be the strongest of the vampires, how are you not putting in any work? Like I didn't like that. And I guess the last thing I didn't like was just the overall no explanation on the Covenant. Like I can gather some things of what the Covenant might say or what it might be, but I feel like clarification on what the Covenant is would have been helpful for this movie, just to understand what we're going up against and why things are the way they are. I feel like that would have been helpful. Oh yeah, and something else I didn't really like too much, but not the biggest deal, is when Selene and Michael started kissing. Like I felt the sexual tension from him, but I didn't really feel it from her. And I obviously knew they were gonna kiss and have a love interest because I've seen this movie before, but there was like no real explanation as to why there was a love interest. Like there was no type of build up at all. It was more so like she saw this guy, they locked eyes, there was a little interest right there just off of that, and the next you know they're kissing. And so not really any character build up or anything for us to really root for. So does this movie impact my life in any sort of way? I say it would, just for the simple fact of being able to express your feelings and love who you love. And one point they show how Sonya was sentenced to death because her and Lucien were in love, and because there were two separate monsters and one person, I guess the Covenant didn't want that to exist, they killed her. And I guess Lucien was supposed to die as well, but he just escaped. So like being able to just bring that to real life and say you should love who you want to love, be who you want to be, identify how you want to identify. I guess that's my impact on my life, of just saying, you know what, like despite what social norms are, whatever other people want me to do or live like, I'm gonna do what's best for me and what I want to do. Biggest takeaway: people could be really power hungry. You see Kraven basically making deals under the table with the opposition, basically sentencing his boys to death. Same thing with Lucien. Don't know how the hell that happened, but now his numbers are dwindling. And it seems like with the whole idea being the hidden agenda of trying to have the hybrid. But that's just my speculation. Maybe it wasn't even that deep, because it seemed like the deal they made was probably years ago, and they might have just now realized that there's such thing as a hybrid. So not really sure, but I guess I'm curious on like them both wanting more power caused them both in a sense to betray their own people and each other. So that's my biggest takeaway. Would you watch this movie again? 100% yes. This movie was awesome. I'm glad I got to watch it again, and I'm really looking forward to watching the other ones. And if that's something you guys want to see me watch, then let me know. I'll definitely post that on YouTube as well. Otherwise, I'm definitely watching it regardless. So I'm glad I got to watch this movie, and I will definitely watch it again. And with that being said, we're going to lock in now to our final rating. Pretty difficult to think about, because I think this movie deserves a 10, but then I feel like 10 is kind of weird for this movie. Like, does this movie really deserve a 10? But I'm like, who am I to decide what it deserves? I need to tell it how it is. But then I also think about those few things I don't like about this movie, which is like They just skip over some key details, like what is the covenant? Why is Amelia getting bodied and she's an elder? Why didn't Lucien change fully? Or if he did change fully, like, can you explain that? Why did the love situation between Michael and Selene escalate so fast? You know, things like that. So I guess with all that in mind, I think the greatness was still the greatness. And so I got to give this movie a 9.5. That's my rating. I think this movie was the best movie I've seen in a long time. And I hope that this movie either encourages you to watch it if you haven't already, which I hope you did because this will be a major spoiler, or at least shed more light into this movie and either remind people to watch it again or tell their friends to watch it, because this movie definitely deserves a high rating for sure. And with that marks the end of my reaction and review to Underworld 2003. If you guys enjoyed, please feel free to leave a like and a comment down below letting me know. If you guys want to see more movies like this, let me know down below. Maybe send some recommendations. Let me know what I should prioritize. As you guys know, I have over 400 movies ready to go. In my mind, at least. Still got to make the videos themselves. But I have over 400 movies I think you guys will enjoy. So let me know what I should prioritize. Turn on post notifications so you're the first to know whenever I upload a new video and you don't miss a new upload. And lastly, I would love for this to be an interactive channel. So I think it would be super dope if you guys answered some of the review questions down below in the comment section. I'm going to leave the review questions in the description box so you can see them for yourselves and follow along, because I'd personally love to know what was your favorite moment, what was your least favorite moment, etc. If you guys want to see me react to more of the Underworld series, let me know down below as well. And if you want to see, again, my full reaction, check out my Patreon, link down below. I'm also going to link my social medias down below in case you guys want to stay in touch with me, or you want to stay more up to date with what I'm planning on doing and have been doing on my channel. And with that being said, that's everything from me. If you guys want to see more of my videos, highly recommend you check out the rest of the channel. But until then, thank you guys so much for your time, and I really appreciate it. Peace out.